6 new melee weapons were added in the 1.0 update for Grounded, and I may have found a new favorite. Typically, I carry around a mint mace, spicy Coltana, and salty club of the Mother Demon when traversing the upper yard, but that means tying up 10% of the limited inventory space with just those weapons. After trying out one of the new weapons, not only can I free up a few spaces by carrying less weapons, but I also might be able to carry fewer healing items. In this video, I'm going to show you my new favorite weapon in action and let you know how to unlock the crafting recipe for it. The weapon we're going to be taking a look at today is the new sword called the Tick. I believe it's pronounced Macuahuitl or Macuahuitl, not exactly sure. But this is a new sword that was added in the 1.0 update. As you can see, it has decent damage when upgraded to level 9, and it also has good attack speed. It also has lifesteal, so that what that means is when you attack an enemy, you're going to get health back. Now, typically, I don't like lifesteal in this game, specifically because the mosquito needle did such little damage. The lifesteal is not that great, but this weapon has done really well. I've been using it in the upper yard for a couple of hours, and so far what I found was I really don't need to end up healing very often. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find myself some enemies and just show you how decent the lifesteal is. And just to show you, I'm using the fire ant armor, excuse me. Fire ant armor is going to give us corrosion. I'm using Blade Master, Meat Shield, Buff Lungs. We got Coup de Grace, and I do have one Trapper Keeper. I'm probably going to turn off the Blade Master real quick because I think I'm going to fight a Wolf Spider. We're going to turn on Mithridatism. So we're going to let this thing, he's going to end up hitting us, and then you're going to see how much lifesteal it actually does. All right, so here we have ourselves a Wolf Spider. What we're going to do is we're just going to hit this guy one time and wake him up. Let's just let him hit us one time, or not. So there he hit us. Now we're poisoned. You can just see I'm already out healing the poison. It hit us again, and we killed it. And that was a daily quest. So as you can see, it's currently, the poison's not really affecting me. It actually out healed the poison. So one thing I was mentioning, now I'm taking a little bit of damage, but now it's coming back again. One thing I was going to say was that this might also allow me to not carry as many healing items, because typically I carry around a bunch of bandages as well as smoothies, because I'm, to be honest, not that great at blocking. I also get really sloppy. Let's try it out against a ladybird who's going to pack a decent punch. I did try this out earlier. Let's see if we can get it away from the larva. Actually, let's do the larva first. The larva is going to be a little bit easier of a fight, so we'll take on the larva first. And we're just going to let this guy hit us so we take some damage. So as you can see, we took a little bit of damage. It has great attack speed. We're already full healed. It's hitting us again. If you're actually decent at perfect blocking, you might actually just never need to take a healing item with you, to be completely honest. So we just completely wrecked him. Let's head over here and fight this ladybird. I also want to show you it against a black ox beetle. Now, typically when I fight a black ox beetle, I'm very cautious. Using this weapon, I actually just completely decimated a black ox beetle. So let's get this. Actually, let's do the fire ant real quick. Now the fire ant's going to walk away. We'll just hit her. So we're going to let her hit us. And you can see how much damage she did on the first hit. Now we're going to try to be careful and not take too much damage from her. Oh, we're down to half health. You can see how much it's healing for. It's healing in chunks. And even with my terrible blocking skills, look at that. I got almost all my health back. Had I not taken 2 heavy hits in a row, I'd be at full health right now. The healing for this thing, it's just going up in chunks. What I want to do is I'm going to turn off Mithridatism, because I think it might actually proc better with... I'm not sure if the crits actually make a difference, but I want to test it against a black ox beetle, and we can test it against this little fire ant as well. So like fighting these little enemies like this, I'm probably just going to be able to full heal, because I should be able to kill this thing without it being able to hit me. So we'll just walk over here, slap this guy around. He's just going to run from us. Oh, he's running hard. And as you can see, fighting the little enemy, I just full healed. So basically what it's doing is just giving me tremendous lifesteal. And actually, I think there's a black ox beetle over here. So let's go find that. So here's a black ox beetle. What we're going to do is we're going to try to fight this thing without completely dying. It's charging attack, so we're going to block this. And we're basically just going to stand here, and you can see how much damage it's doing to it, how fast it attacks. All right, so we took a little bit of damage there because I was just not blocking. Missed us. Look at the healing. The healing is just going up so quickly, and this thing has a massive attack speed. So we just completely decimated the black ox beetle. Like I said, typically when I fight these guys, I kind of end up trying to cheese them because I'm usually afraid of them. The healing on this thing, especially when you're fighting the beefy enemies, you heal really quickly. So it definitely make sure you try it out. So real quick before I discuss how to unlock the Tick Macuahuitl sword, what I want to do is look at the other weapons that were added, the other melee weapons specifically that were added in the 1.0 update, just compare them to it. So as you can see, the Tiger Mosquito Rapier has a similar stat in lifesteal. What you're going to notice though is it's actually going to do less damage. It does have the ability to stun, but honestly, I'm not really worried about that much because I'd rather just get the more lifesteal. So this weapon in terms of lifesteal is going to actually get you more lifesteal because they have the exact same attack speed, but this one does more damage. And I believe the life scale from my testing, it seems like it's based on the amount of damage you're doing, as this thing gets far more lifesteal back than specifically the original Mosquito Needle. The other weapons that were added were the Rusty Spear. I tried out the Rusty Spear. It has the exact same stats as the Tick Macuahuitl. The only difference is it has Infection. What Infection does, I think it's kind of like Poison. It slowly damages the enemies over time. As you know from my video, if you've seen any of my videos in the past, the damage over time things like the poison and stuff like that just don't seem to be that great. So that's why I don't really like that. I did try this against a bunch of enemies. It's also a stabbing weapon, which is all just like the Tiger Mosquito Rapier. And there's a lot of, especially the beef enemies, that are resistant to stabbing because that will prevent you from just using bows on everything. So they're actually going to be resistant to that. Whereas many of the enemies are actually weak to slashing, or they don't have a resistance to slashing. The other ones that were added are the Widow Dagger. I haven't had a chance to try this out yet. This does poison damage, and I've tried poison in the past, and I've just not really liked it that much. So unless this thing's dealing a ton of extra poison damage, or maybe with a full poison build, maybe it was buffed a little bit. So I'll have to try that in the future. Toenail Scimitar also is going to have the Infection. This has slightly more damage than the Tick Sword, but with the Infection, I'm just not a big fan of the Infection, and I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. And then the last one's going to be the Fire Ant Club. I did just craft this one. I haven't had a chance to test it out. I'm going to be testing it out soon. I wanted to use the full ant armor with the ant shield first before I tested this out. This is going to be one of the better clubs. As you can see, it has massive stun. The only problem is it has a really slow attack speed, and the bonus here is crit days. And I think that what that does is gives you a chance of having, or critical hits, maybe it's something with critical hits and increase the chance of stun or something like that. And honestly, I just don't like these chance things. I'd rather have something like the constant lifesteal where every time you're hitting the enemy, you're getting lifesteal back every single time. So now let's go take a look at how to unlock this sword. So there's 3 ways to unlock the crafting recipe for this weapon. One's going to be to analyze a tick fang. The best place to find ticks is going to be the upper right corner of the map. As you can see, they're all over here. There's the rotten, or the old stump is up here. They are all over the place over there. You can also find them down here. This place is relatively safe as long as you don't go underneath the rocks. If you go over to this area, the only thing that's actually over there is the ticks. They're pretty easy to kill, especially if you have a spicy weapon. But this is the best place. You can also find them in the undershed area, but that's going to probably be a place you're going to be going to much later on. So if you want to get this thing unlocked quickly, you can go up there. The other thing you can also research to unlock it is going to be pinecone pieces. So we're going to scan for pinecone pieces. Hopefully they've respawned because I did get most of them. You're going to notice the pinecone pieces are also up in the upper right part of the yard here. So if you want to unlock this by just analyzing something, the best bet's going to be to go to the upper part of the yard. And then last but not least, you can also unlock it by going to the brain power. I believe it's level 14. Let's scroll down. So it's going to be all the way down here at level 14. You're going to see, here it is right here. So if you get the brain power level 14, you'll also unlock the ability to craft it. You're going to end up needing, in order to craft it, you will need, let's find it right down here. You're going to need 10 tick fangs, 3 lint rope, 1 pinecone piece, 3 mosquito sacks. You can actually get the mosquito blood sacks from either type of mosquito, either the regular mosquitoes or the new mosquitoes, the tiger mosquitoes. The pine cones, you only need 1 piece of those. Each pine cone drops between like 2 and 5, I believe. Lint rope, obviously, there's plenty of places to get lint. And then tick fangs. Each tick, I believe, drops 1 fang. I'm not sure if they drop 2, but there's tons of ticks around. So you shouldn't have any problem finding the resources to craft this thing. And I ended up going the mighty path just because I like to make general use weapons. I wanted to try this thing out against everything and not have to worry about something having a resistance to like one of the specific upgrade paths. You could go one of these specific upgrade paths if you like to, but I just wanted to go the mighty path. That way I can just try it out against everything. So that's my new favorite melee weapon. If you found this video helpful, make sure to click the like button, and here's another video you might find helpful as well.